It's time for the European Championship. Yes, look at this. The 1935 French Grand Prix by Johannes Lacroix. Hello everyone, welcome to episode 5 of Grand Prix 80th anniversary. Today, it's the official 1935 French Grand Prix. There's the start of it, and here's one of the many famous paintings by Carlo Demand. I'll give you the website in the description. If you are unfamiliar with this series, it is a series where I review Grand Prix races that happened exactly 80 years ago, to the day. It's 1934 Eiffelrennen there. Speaking of the Eiffelrennen, last week that was what we reviewed. A race through the Eifel Mountains on the dangerous Nürburgring. It's a really fun race. But today, we get properly serious because we travel to Montlhery in France for the second round of the 1935 AIACR European Championship, the French Grand Prix. To start off with, what is the AIACR? It is an acronym for Association Internationale des Automobiles Clubs Reconnus, which is French for International Association of Recognized Automobile Clubs. That means in English the acronym is IARAC. That's their logo. They were changed to, nowadays, Fédération Internationale de l'Automobile, FIA. And in 1931, they organized the European Championship. Originally, it consisted of 10-hour endurance races, but then it was reverted to type in 1932. In 1933 and 34, the championship was not held, so this year it has returned. The point system was really interesting. Instead of more points nowadays, fewer is the goal. 1 point for the winner, 2 for second place, 3 for third, 4 for those who completed 3/4 of the race distance, 5 to those who completed half of the distance, 6 to those who completed 1/4 of the race distance, and 7 for those who completed less than that. 8 points were given to those who were disqualified or didn't participate. Past champions of the European Championship have been Ferdinando Mignoia and Tazio Nuvolari, a person we will be seeing later today. Now, the championship is relatively new, but the French Grand Prix has been among one of the biggest sporting events in the world for decades. The French Grand Prix was also the very first official Grand Prix, held way back in 1906. There's a couple of pictures from the 1906 French Grand Prix, which was the highlight of the year for the whole world. During pre-World War I times, it was called the Grand Prix because it was the only official one. Anyway, back to 1935 French Grand Prix. This year's. So this race is the second race of the 1935 season. The previous one having been at the famous Monte Carlo venue. Here you can see is the flyer for it and a painting. Aha, but I have been to Monaco before, so I have this in real life. From the Monaco Grand Prix, the current championship standings are as follows here. Luigi Fargioli, René Dreyfus, Antonio Brivio drives on a Ferrari, Philippe Tasselin, Louis Chiron, Raymond Sommer, a privateer, drives Alfa Romeos and Maseratis, and Goffredo Zaenter. And where we're driving today is an Indianapolis Speedway-like course, only this gets a bit interesting. Today, the course is the Autodrome de Lina Montlhery. This is going to be an excellent video. Excellent video because of this. Montlhery is interesting. It is not only a semi-streamlined oval track, but also a genuine Grand Prix course. The race starts in the oval, goes around it once, and then heads off onto a backward-shaped Z, and goes considerably out of its way, and then returns to the oval. It's very interesting. Introduction to the race. Even though it's only been a year, the French are considerably tired of the Germans dominating. In an attempt to slow them down, the French put barriers in the straights, which not only slows them down, but also worsen the condition of the brakes.
The German cars, the French have put chicanes in the straights.
Anyway, Auto Union had brought in a new 5.6-liter V16 engine to improve their chances. After all, this was a championship race, so they wanted good results from it. Same car, just new engine. Maserati were here too, only it wasn't the Subalpina team. Today it's the official Maserati Works team. Today, and the top drivers are Goffredo Zehender and Raymond Sommer, the latter being a privateer on most other occasions. I'm on a team, this is fun. That's in 8 cm there. Maserati 8-cylinder M. And there was also Marcelihu. Oops, why is this happening? A localist in an SEFAC. Model is unknown. It proved to be really uncompetitive during practice, and Leu could barely get good lap times. It turned out to be overweight, so it didn't qualify. Bugatti had a bit of problems, though. There was one entrant, Robert Benoist, who, by the way, was part of Delage in the mid-1920s, when they were arch-enemies with Bugatti. Anyway, Robert Benoist on Bugatti, driving the latest one, the Type 59. However, it was moved at midnight because of a secret cooperation between organizers. But they did this without examining it. What's this doing here? I see we move it out. So now, without further ado, the AIACR presents to you the starting order of the French Grand Prix of 1935. In row 1, we have Achille Varzi and his teammate Heinz Stuck on the front row for the third time. And Achille Varzi's one of his nemesis, Tazio Nuvolari. Arch rivals meet again. Nuvolari must be aware that there are 2 auto unions in between him. In row 2, it's 2 cars, Rudolf Caracciola. I promise you this is a picture of him. It's from the 1935 French Grand Prix. Anyway, actually I forgot the times. Achille Varzi, 5 minutes 20.1. Tazio Nuvolari, 5 minutes 23.6. And Heinz Stuck, 5 minutes 28.8. Rudolf Caracciola, 5 minute 31.6. Oh well, came pretty close. And Louis Chiron in the famous Alfa Romeo Tipo B, 5 minutes 31.9 seconds, only just a bit off. Wow, Ferrari has excellent fielding position. You can also call it Alfa Romeo. And row 3, which is 3 cars, Baron Trostmeyer in the Auto Union, 5 minutes 36.6. What greatness will we do today? That's in reference to his brilliant driving at the Nürburgring last week. And Luigi Fagioli in the Mercedes-Benz W25, and his teammate Manfred von Brauchitsch, 5 minutes 37.9 and 5 minutes 46.6. Wasn't the best fielding position, but it's okay. And in row 4 we have Robert Benoist's Bugatti Type 59, time is unknown. And the cooperation has removed his car, so he's been looking for it all morning. Goffredo Zehender in this Maserati 6C34, that's a Subalpina Maserati, 6 minutes, 10 seconds, .8. Just got nothing to say. Rounding out the field is Raymond Sommer in the Maserati 8CM. Mr. Privateer is ready. After Benoist spent 10 minutes looking for his car, the race began. Varzi got a bad start, allowing Nuvolari to take the lead. After a trip around the circuit, he was followed by Stuck, Chiron, and the Mercedes-Benz cars. Oh dear. It's not a very good start for him. And there's... Wow, we're doing excellently. Ferraris look great through that big turn. Now, as we start the forest portion of Montlhery, the French Racing Authority were embarrassed on lap 4. Robert Benoist and his Bugatti Type 59 lost the hood of the car, which revealed the 4900cc engine. Organizations had estimated it to be overweight because of this. That engine is huge! Is it overweight? Meanwhile, on the same lap, Louis Chiron had passed Heinz Stuck, which put both of the Ferrari Alfa Romeo cars in the top 2. This is the first Ferrari 1-2. It'll happen in over many years. Louis, that was brilliant. There's there's Heinz Stuck there behind, and Robert Benoist. He's still driving, but he lost the hood. So yeah, Ferrari seemed to be doing really well. Unfortunately, the elation came to an end. The man from Monaco had a problem with his transmission, which would put him out of the race. Disappointing 7 points to Louis. Oh, not now. It was so much fun. After this happened, it became a duel between Tazio Nuvolari and another one of his nemesis, Rudolf Caracciola. We meet again, Rudy. So, yes, driving through Avus, Nuvolari, Caracciola, arch rivals. I couldn't find a picture for this, but it seems rather obvious that Caracciola is performing just like the way he was before his horrific crash in 1933 that ended his friendship with Louis Chiron and Alfa Romeo. Well, he was spending the time on Alfa Romeo because Mercedes-Benz had no money. Then Hitler helped him. Behind Caracciola came the other two Mercedes-Benz cars, which put Nuvolari in a situation of leading, while 3 Daimler-Benz cars follow him. Von Braukitsch is on the other side of the track. So, yeah. And now it looks like Auto Union are having tons of problems. Heinz Stuck lost his brakes, so he has an unfortunate 7 points, while Rosemeyer has a transmission failure, which resulted in 6 points. You can see the two of them. However, Varzi presses on despite a water leak and a couple of faulty plugs. Yeah, it doesn't look too good for him. With all that aside, here comes the official French Grand Prix leaderboard after 12 laps, brought to you by AIACR Radio. So, at first we have Tazio Nuvolari and Rudolf Caracciola just 8 seconds off. He can still see Nuvolari. And then the third is Luigi Fargioli, 54 seconds. And Manfred von Braukitsch, the third Mercedes-Benz car, 1 minute 23 seconds off. And then in fifth is Goffredo Zander. He's definitely doing well. He might end up being in a top position in the standings after this. 5 minutes 25.1. And Achille Varzi, 1 lap down. And Raymond Sommer, 4 laps down. His 8 CM isn't doing too well. But at least he's still in the running. Achille Varzi had to stop his car for the pits almost regularly at this stage of the race. Eventually, he couldn't handle it, so he gave his car to Rosemeyer. This is peculiar. He doesn't usually give up. Bernd, I give you my car. There are the other 2 cars there. So Bernd is just there. But let's remember that Rosemeyer has already retired from the race, and he is now driving the car of Achille Varzi. So that means that if he finishes the race, the points will count for Varzi, not Rosemeyer. Meanwhile, the battle between Nuvolari and Caracciola, his other enemy, continued. However, there were chicanes in the straights, and Nuvolari had the advantage there. As you can see. Alright, that's a picture from R-Factor, I know that. However, Caracciola still took the lead and managed to set the new fastest lap of 5 minutes 30.6. But Nuvolari responded by terrific advantage in the chicane and another fastest lap of 5 minutes 29.1. 1.5 seconds faster, putting him in the lead. But this exciting battle was now over, and the one not to finish was, unfortunately, Nuvolari. He had transmission troubles at 33% distance, so that's 6 points for Nuvo. Oh, come on, this can't happen. Caracciola presses on. The superiority of Mercedes-Benz really is showing. There are no more Scuderia Ferrari drivers left, but all of the Mercedes-Benz cars are still in the running. Now all 3 cars are in the top 3 positions. Yeah. After Caracciola had slowed down, the Mercedes-Benz cars were in formation. Then Alfred Neubauer, team manager of Mercedes-Benz, had ordered the cars to keep position. There's Neubauer in that airplane. He's keeping track of their time, and he's telling them to stay where they are. But one of the drivers, Luigi Fagioli, ignored him and attacked Caracciola and took the lead, but Rudolf quickly regained his position. There is the first of many Carlo Demand paintings that we're going to look at. a jostle for the lead here at the French Grand Prix. Painting by Carlo Demand. I will give you the link to it in the description. Caracciola and Fagioli continued onwards with a big battle for the lead, which obviously displeased Neubauer. Come on, just cool it. That's what Neubauer is trying to signal to them. Famous words from Alfred Neubauer. But Neubauer would feel much better about his teammates fighting when Fagioli had a catastrophic problem with his ignition. He wasn't out of the race, but he'd fall 15 minutes behind. Oh dear. So that meant that it was down to Caracciola and his old friend, von Brauchitsch. For the rest of the race, there was no fighting between the Mercedes-Benz drivers. Von Brauchitsch says, Rudolph, I thought a bit about what you said last week. Oh, really? Indicating to what happened to him last week at Nürburgring. And so we've come to an end. Caracciola and von Brauchitsch crossed the line in unison, and Caracciola is the winner of the French Grand Prix for the first time. That was a lot of fun. Alright. Out of all the major races we're seeing this year, Caracciola has won for the second time in a row. And von Brauchitsch now has a competitive result too. On top of that, we've seen Maserati finish on the podium today with Goffredo Zander. Quite a surprise. Finally, we get what we deserve. We've just received word that Auto Union are fed up with the unreliability of their cars, so they're going to borrow the Nürburgring for a week to improve their car's reliability. This means that they won't participate next week or at the Belgian Grand Prix. Right, we're going fee. Their cars are unreliable, so they definitely want to fix that by going to the Nürburgring. So now, here are the official race results of the 1935 French Grand Prix, once again brought to you by AIACR Radio. And so, first was Rudolf Caracciola, and literally right behind him, Manfred von Brauchitsch. Caracciola gets 1 point, Brauchitsch gets 2. Goffredo Zander in third has 3 points. He had 4 points coming into this, so it's definitely a step in the right direction. And Luigi Fagioli, championship leader, was 3 laps off. Goffredo Zander's 2. He has 4 points. And in fifth was Varzi and Rosmeier. The Auto Union. Varzi was the one who originally drove it. It's Varzi's car. He was 5 laps down, as was Raymond Sommer. But Varzi got 4 points. Definitely a nice introduction for Auto Union. And Raymond Sommer in his Maserati gets 4 points, just like he did with Monaco, where he got 4 points in his private, unsupported Alfa Romeo. And then DNF, Robert Benoist in his Bugatti, unknown retirement reason, either 6 or 5 points, because he was disputed to finish on lap 16 or lap 24, and that causes different kinds of points. And there's Tazio Nuvolari in his Alfa Romeo, the transmission problem, 6 points, putting him in 9th in the championship, which is not very good. And then there's Bernd Rosmeier in his Auto Union, who might have had a plug problem, 6 points. And Louis Chiron in his Alfa Romeo, he had 4 points coming into this, so it shouldn't be that bad. But he had transmission problems, so it's 7 points off. Hence Stuck, disappointing introduction to the year. This is his first race in the championship, and he had a brake failure early on, so that's 7 points. With the results of this Grand Prix behind us, here are the championship standings after 2 races. Luigi Fagioli remains in the championship lead, while Rudolf Caracciola, who completed only half distance at Monaco, is 1 point off of him. And 2 points off is Goffredo Zander, who came third today and 7th at Monaco while finishing. So Goffredo Zander is definitely in a brilliant place to be. Great position. And Raymond Sommer, he is in 4th because he's just reliable. And he finished 6th in both races, which gives him 8 points. And in 5th is Manfred von Brauchitsch with 9 points. He retired early at Monaco, came 2nd today. In 6th was René Dreyfus. He came 2nd at Monaco and didn't come today, so that's 10 points. And then it's tied for 7th between Chiron, Brivio, and Nuvolari. And Chiron was it's determined by who completed most distance. And Chiron completed more distance than his teammate Brivio. And that's that. So after the podium ceremony of listening to the Nazi and Italian anthems for the drivers on the podium, we wrap up our broadcast of the French Grand Prix of 1935. Up next in the 1935 AIACR European Championship will be the Belgian Grand Prix at the famous Spa-Francorchamps circuit. It's the famous Eau Rouge corner, the Belgian flag. Now jumping out of my radio broadcast, guys, and into my YouTube, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. Leave a comment, click the like or subscribe button if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next week at Spain for the Grand Prix of Pigneron. Oops. There's the Montlhery circuit of streets. There's a picture from it.